And even I thought, wow, how disgusting is Hollywood? And yet I always knew how disgusting Hollywood was.
The show must go on.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
Or the show must go on.
Hello. Welcome to What the Flicks podcast, episode 72. My name's Susan Ayers.
Patty Smith.
Lon Chima.
Jorge Sanchez.
Bob Nick Shields.
This week we're going to, Bob,
Yes.
that would be
Bobby.
you.
My movie is The Stunt Man, which is not a new movie. This is the movie from, I think, 1982 with Peter O'Toole, Barbara Hershey, and Steve Railsback, directed by Richard Rush. This is part of I started on our last show by doing an arc that's going to cross over 4 shows, which is about movies that have a central performance that could not have been done by anybody else. And anybody else other than Peter O'Toole in this movie would have been ludicrous.
Yeah, that's
Because
true.
he is more beautiful in this than he was in Lawrence of Arabia.
He was. That's
And
true.
John Gielgud once said, if you had been any more beautiful on the screen in Lawrence of Arabia, it would have been Florence of Arabia.
John Gielgud is the one who said that.
Yeah.
Wow.
But Richard Rush was a director of B movies, and he there's the guy who staged all the stunts for this movie is a guy named Chuck Bale, who's actually in the movie as himself, I believe. And it's about
Is the one he's the one who did the Sons?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
He choreographed all this stuff.
No, I thought it was Gary Johnson. That's why I wrote that.
Well, maybe, but Chuck Bale was a stuntman, and Chuck Bale is basically what was the inspiration for this movie.
Oh, okay. No. Okay, he's the inspiration. Okay.
Yeah. So the setup of the movie is that Steve Railsback is a guy who's on the run from the cops for something we don't know why, and he has to get away from them. And he runs out onto a bridge, and there's a guy in an old car, a model, whatever, it's a car from the 30s,
Right.
who he tries to get. He thinks the guy's stopping to pick him up, and he jumps in the car, and the guy says, "Get out of the car! Get out of the car!" And he kicks him out of the car and drives off, and then drives off the bridge and disappears. And so what we have is the setup for a movie in which the stuntman for the lead actor is missing, presumed drowned in the river. And Peter O'Toole is the director of the movie. His name is Eli Cross.
Great name.
A great name. And he just, it's like, this was like the most perfect Peter O'Toole ever. I mean, I wanted to be with the guy. I mean, he was so hot in this movie. He's so beautiful. And he has a line that he uses over and over again that just establishes how charismatic a director he is. And it's just, he wants something from someone and he'll just go, "Come here to me." And when he looks at you and says, "Come here to me," you're going to go to him. You have no choice. And the guy is obviously a genius, but also an egomaniac, and he will make use of anything. And he sees this guy who was on the bridge, who's obviously got something going on with him. And he says, "Well, we're missing our stuntman is dead." I think they actually finally find the body in the car. And the police are looking for the guy who killed him because there was a film that was being shot in that car.
Right.
And we got to find this guy. And the guy is Steve Railsback, who was like jumped in the car and then got kicked out by the guy before he drove off the bridge. So he says to Steve Railsback, "I'm casting, you're our new stuntman." And this guy has no experience as a stuntman. And they put him through these bizarre stunts. It's a World War I movie that they're making. And they put him through these bizarre stunts. And everything is shot like, oh, this isn't the movie. This is for real. So you think it's actually going on.
Right.
And then you find out, no, it was the movie. And it's all make-believe. And the movie is all about the illusion of making movies, the illusion of show business, and how important a director is to it, how important a writer is to it. And the writer is played by Alan Garfield when he was using his original name of Alan Gurwitz. Alex Rocco plays the sheriff. Alex Rocco is Mo Green from the Godfather. It's just a great cast. Barbara Hershey is the star of the movie. Everybody in the movie is absolutely wonderful, but if you had had anybody other than Peter O'Toole in the main part, it wouldn't have been the movie. It would not have been a movie that has lasted as long as it has. I've seen this movie about a half a dozen times now. I'll let you guys talk about it.
Well, I was actually quite confused about the movie, right? I was kind of like, I couldn't quite. First of all, is it Cameron? Is it Steve Waldwick?
Steve Railsback.
Yeah. All I could see is, to me, the guy. First, I don't know this movie. I don't know that actor, but all I could see was Charles Manson.
Well, that's because he played Charles
exactly.
Manson.
Yes,
But I had no idea
Yes.
about that.
Yeah.
But he looked it up. He goes, "Hey, you know
Yeah.
that guy you thought was Charles Manson?" So I kept giving him like he was like so intense. The thing that is also interesting about the movie is he kind of stumbles into. He's running away from an incident where he's handcuffed, and he's running away from it. And he stumbles onto like which is also interesting, Santa Monica Beach, because that's probably Santa Monica Beach.
Oh,
I
No,
think,
that was
where they filmed.
that's the Coronado where they shot it. That was that's
it's San Diego.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I told you that he interesting. I googled that because he played Charles Manson in Hell
Yes.
Yeah, you told me
Exactly,
that.
yeah.
Yes, you told me
Yeah.
that. I was like, no kidding. He looked like a psychopath. His eyes were like just constantly like,
Darting.
well,
yeah.
yes,
Darting.
because
Perfect word.
because he also walks into this set where soldiers of bombs are going off and whatever. And apparently he has what do you call it?
PTSD.
PTSD.
Because he's from he was
Vietnam.
a soldier. Yes,
Yeah.
he was a soldier. So it's kind of like he's trying to figure out, he's trying to survive, figure out what's going on. I think this is a movie for actors.
Yeah,
Do
that
you know
makes
what I
sense.
mean?
For people in the film industry. in
Yeah,
general.
because I don't think normal people, and I will put myself in that bracket, kind of, right? It would be understand this movie. You know what I mean? It's like, what the hell? Why? I didn't understand why Peter O'Toole was great. He was like, kind of like, I thought actually Steve Railsback was I was wondering which one is that you thought was the indispensable person.
We'll talk about that after
Yes,
the
he-
That's actually a good point. I like that.
Talk about
Because
that after the
I
review.
thought he was kind of like so whacked.
Who, Peter O'Toole?
No, the other
Steve
actor.
Steve
Railsback.
Railsback. Yeah.
Peter O'Toole was kind of eccentric. He wasn't.
Flamboyant.
Yeah, I didn't see him as like this one. I'd keep an eye out when I slept. You know what I mean? I was not trusting him,
Mhm.
so I didn't know where he was going. And yeah, it was just really. And then the ending was really, in a sense, it's like, it's almost like the movie where it's leading you to a certain place. It didn't go there, but it went somewhere else. And that's where you go. And I don't know that. It was kind of like, oh, okay. I guess everything's okay. You know, kind of thing. But up until that point, you really don't know that. You know, you just, it's like, who are these, what? Why do they care? Why are they doing this? I'm not an actor.
You're like Lucky. What's going on?
Yeah. It's like, yeah, except he was nuts. I'm not
Was he?
nuts. Yes. He's nuts. Okay, Patty.
As much as I love Peter O'Toole, and I love Peter O'Toole, that part was perfect for him.
Oh yeah.
But
Well, that's
like
his
Susie
point.
said, I didn't get it. I couldn't follow it. And so I actually had to kind of rewatch parts of it again, going, where am I getting lost here? It was like so much was going on. I just got lost, and then I got bored.
It also gives you the thing of what's real and what's not real, which
That's
is kind
the
of
major
Yeah.
part, I
I
think, of
didn't
the
get
story.
that as a
what's
Yeah.
real and what's not real. Because in real life, you couldn't really do those scenes, those the stunt scenes he was doing. They would take a great deal of preparation. You wouldn't just walk in.
Okay, Lon.
Do that. But and,
was it?
And I have a question later. I have a question for you later about this movie too.
Okay.
It's kind of like, what happened to that first stuntman?
He drowned.
He's dead.
he did.
He's
They
dead.
found his
He
body
died.
in the
He's dead.
car.
Okay.
That's why they're.
Yeah.
But did he do that on purpose?
No. He did it because Steve Railsback character.
Steve Railsback.
Yeah.
Steve Railsback's lucky.
No,
Interrupted a
no.
rehearsal
I'm
for a
Peter
scene.
O'Toole. Did he do that? Did he do that on purpose?
Do what?
Kill him.
No.
Yes.
No.
I don't think that's understood.
Oh, I
Why,
think
it
it's
is to
very
me.
understood
How
because
could he have killed him?
Steve's Railsback is the one who's actually, quote unquote, responsible for him doing that.
No,
So-
I forget he wasn't even in the picture at this time. They didn't even know him.
No, he
Right.
was.
Yeah,
He's the
but-
one who caused the accident. Do you
No.
remember that?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Because he jumps in the car and
he
the
throws
guy.
a thing on the
And,
windshield.
and
yeah.
just so everyone knows, this is not giving away. This happens at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Okay,
Okay.
you've already done right.
I did.
Okay. Now, this is a movie I saw at the theaters because this is one of those things that, like Bob, I'm just such a movie freak. And Peter O'Toole, being one of the truly legendary actors, in my opinion, period,
Absolutely.
of the screen. I watched this movie and I'll never forget because Roger Ebert and Siskel, it's like, oh no, you got to see this movie. So it's like, okay. But I love movies about filmmaking, period. I don't know why, but I think it's because I love movies so much. So when you see
Yeah.
people making movies, I love these kind of movies. So here's a movie that I was almost mixed on because it was unique. It was very strange. Because of the story, and you're right, I think all the actors are terrific in it. But the two majors are Peter O'Toole and Steve Railsback. And I agree with you that he is so, I don't want to say insane as far as Steve's Railsback character, but you can tell, okay, no, he is touched. He had that Vietnam experience. Everything is sort of craziness to him. And even in his performance, you think it doesn't fit in the film, but yet it does if you know that, okay, he went to Vietnam. He has to deal with explosions that PTSD is coming in. It's like, I'm buying it, right? Then you have Peter O'Toole being this flamboyant, joyous, I want to kill you kind of director. It's like, no, I want you to do this. And yet the way and this is I think the genius of Peter O'Toole, the way he can convince everyone
Anybody.
around him to do what he wants done is amazing to me.
And he makes some of them better because of it.
Well, does he or not? I don't know
Well,
about that.
I take the incident of
Yeah.
of Alan Gurwitz and
Okay.
the toy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I say you could say that, but what about the actual people involved? Because he's not looking after Steve Railsback's character.
No.
In fact, even at the end, it even comes to a debate. But that's something entertaining. But what I really did enjoy about this movie that I thought this is how movies are made, and I will give it. And I thought, like I said, I thought it was Gary Johnson who was the stunt coordinator. I give it to him and his team of stunt teams because
Yeah.
that's what I think this whole entire movie was about. To really pay tribute to all these people who are in the background, who will never be known as names, who do all these incredible things for films. And I mean this, incredible stunts. And yet it's like, yeah, no one knows that. Oh, yeah. Oh, Ben Affleck did it. So, no. These people are the ones who do that. Physical hard punishment. And that's why I said, came back to Iron Claw. When you see people doing their own stunts and the wrestling stuff, when they're getting slammed and whatever, I admire that. And so in this movie, that's the one thing I have to say that they did some incredible stunts. Because even I thought watching this movie, this is eye-opening to me. I mean, just running on the roofs or falling out. And I love there's a little scene where somebody sort of falls and you know what happens. You actually hear a audio crunch. It's like, oh my God, they actually did that. And yet it's something about the filmmaking that I've always enjoyed. And that's why I sort of always liked this movie. I didn't think this was as great as a movie as it was. But I do know this is a movie that never did well at the box office. And I was really disappointed by that because that if you love movies, you would definitely go
You're
and see
saying
this.
this is basically an homage to the Stunt Man,
In
right?
my opinion, yes.
Interesting.
Because
That
it's
works.
like they're showing you because you're seeing what he's doing, and that's a weird thing. At that time period, I'm sure Steve Railsback didn't do that stuff. They had his stuntmen
Yeah.
playing
Right,
stu-
right.
right.
Yeah.
Nowadays, they are getting more people to do their own stunts
Well,
because it looks much,
CGI.
well,
Yeah,
could be.
absolutely.
Well, no, but I'm sorry. It's like all the martial arts movies, like the Jackie Chan
Yeah,
era,
well-
when they're doing their own stunts. They want to recreate that. So
Tom
when you
Cruise.
watch a lot of
They're on ropes.
well, no, that's fine. That's fine if they're on ropes or on, but they're doing their own stunts. That's why when the Matrix, when they did all their own fighting, that they had to train, right, and do all their stunt work. It's like, I admire that because it shows, In this movie, it doesn't show that they're doing it, but this is sort of the movie where it's like, you have to admire the stuntmen and everyone involved and we're going back, way back to the beginnings of film, where these are the people who are never acknowledged, basically. And then finally, they did finally have their own awards, because I have to admit that when I watch movies, I always look at the stunt crew because I'm curious how many stunt people had it. Now, this, if you saw that, they had like 20 people listed as stunt people.
That's all.
Yes,
That's
exactly. And
amazing.
that's what I mean. That's all, right? But the thing is, like, yeah, because it was that era of where stunt people did all the hard work, and the movie stars, oh no, I'm not going to mess up my hair. I'm not going to mess up my face. I'm not going to do this. They didn't have to do that because the studio said no, because of insurance purposes, I'm sure, as well.
Well, that was the
We
thing
want
too,
that.
and the thing that the insurance company was like, that's why they stuck him in there. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
Hell isn't dead or whatever
Right.
his name is. Here he is.
Exactly, yes.
Right?
But I have to admit, it was actually the story that intrigued me the most, of, like you said, about how do you get around of this murder investigation or as someone who died, and that, oh wait, no, it wasn't him. It's just, and they're all covering up for the story. Why? Because of the sake of the film. And even I thought, wow, how disgusting is Hollywood? And yet I always knew how disgusting Hollywood was.
The show must go on.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
Or the show must go on. Yeah, no, actually, to me at first I was kind of confused with it, and then the first act, second act, I'm still confused, but these people are kind of odd to me. Then the third act, oh, I see where it's kind of going. I call this Rambo becomes a stuntman. But because I thought it was the one thing that impressed me was the stunt work in this movie. It's like, wow. And I go, this, and the guy's playing, the actor is playing a stunt guy who replaces an actor, but it's actually a stunt guy doing the actor's stunt guy work. I'm like, my head is exploding now.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
and I go, and I actually thought the movie was maybe about a deranged director that's he's gonna get his shot and he's gonna get it. And
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, and he's gonna literally kill his actors to get the perfect shot and get the realism with it. That's what I thought kind of in the beginning. I thought what it was like. But as it went along, I go, oh, so first I go, oh, the movie's telling me that actors and directors are sociopaths. But then kind of as it went along, no, but as it went along, I thought, no, maybe it's more like the character, the stunt guy, the actor.
The which
Steve
guy?
Railsback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's more like what's going on in his mind because he's PTSD and
Yeah.
things feel real. So I think he's making things real that are not real. You know, like so,
Well, right,
and that's
yeah,
what's
like what
happening.
Susie said, how the reality and the fantasy
so
is
it's
mixed.
almost
yeah.
like
yeah.
Alice in Wonderland or some sort of weird thing. So you don't know what's real or what's not. I was thinking, do people need to be high to watch this to get the effect? Because it gets confusing. But then it's like, oh no, I see what's going on. It's more like his mental state in the film. And then there's a scene where he really loses his mind with the actress and he's destroying everything. And he's explaining to her why he's being pursued. And then at time it kind of felt like a Tennessee Williams.
Yeah, that's what we said. Yeah, I was like,
Oh,
I feel like
really?
I'm watching
That scene is
Tennessee
like, wow,
Williams here.
in a way.
Oh, wow.
That scene could be
Yeah.
a play. With the paint and she falls and he's
Right,
destroying
right.
everything. And then I thought and also I thought the Warriors are missing a member. And then he looks. But
Come out and play.
so it made it more interesting after a while. When I was, when I started getting more into it. But Peter Tool was great as Peter Tool. I don't know him that well. But actually, like Susie, I thought when you were discussing a character at the time, you meant the actual actor that played the stunt guy.
Mhm.
Because he
Chuck
was
Bale.
just
Right.
because he looked like such a literally Charles Manson. This guy.
He thought-
Well, no, he
So
is very
dramatic.
squirrely. Yes, it was. You could, and yet you understood why he was sort of squirrely,
And
which sort of
yeah.
fit the role because of what Peter O'Toole keep asking him.
yeah.
about.
Absolutely. But he doesn't even flinch
like
about
no
it.
soul
Peter
the way he
O'Toole.
looked.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
Peter O'Toole was a very colorful character too. And he's very. And,
Oh, yeah.
really colorful. Really like. You can
I
see
would.
how he-
I would like to see a TV series based on that one
I mean, you
character.
can see how he. Right, you can see how he.
I wouldn't want to see it on TV. by the
Oh,
way.
I would.
You can see how he commands things.
Too
I
many
don't know that
commercials.
word, but you can see how he commands things. To me, the actress seemed like a bit lost, but I thought she was kind of nuts. But then I thought maybe it was in the main character's mind. He said he's a relationship. This guy's trying to do this to me, but maybe is it true or not? So it's more like a weird psychological what's going on in his mind kind of movie.
Mhm.
But so in the beginning I was lost. Then I was like, where's this going? But then I once I kind of figured out, I see what's going on here. I found it entertaining. Now there was a third act where it's time to get explained to me.
Yeah, it was sort of
Shall
funny
we
too
vote?
that Sharon Farrell was in it as well.
I just wanted to add one or two things here. First of all, it's Alice in Wonderland. The movie is Alice in Wonderland.
I wish it was Alice in
It is
Wonderland.
Alice.
It's one of my favorite.
It is, but it
Yeah,
is Alice in
my
Wonderland.
favorite books
And
of all
And we haven't
time.
really
yeah.
mentioned Barbara Hershey, and I think Barbara Hershey does such an amazing job.
I
in this
agree. I
because-
think she's wonderful.
I
She
couldn't
is.
stand her character.
I couldn't stand her.
Well, of course, because is she real, or I mean, is she doing this for him?
No, she's-
I think she's part of
she's
that whole movie
she's
world.
like the lady and baby. What do
Driver?
you
Baby
baby
Driver?
driver? Yes,
Oh,
it was
yes.
like
Yo,
it's
just
like
sort of like
to
a
bend
romance
that.
thing.
I
that's
just
there,
go
or
off
is that-
with the first guy that like
Help me along.
yeah, I know.
But you know she made
It's
that
like-
one line. Don't you know? Good girl sleep with the director to get the part.
Well, I thought that was really good. That's true.
Yeah.
But that I don't mean that's true. I mean that is true.
Yeah.
And that was a really good line. But her attraction to this nut was
Oh, right.
like,
Well,
wouldn't you
well,
like
again,
to know
right.
something
I will say
about
this.
him?
I will say this about actresses or actors. They're a little on the neurotic side. They're not quite, in my opinion, psychologically stable.
Okay.
So when it comes to relationships, I will say that.
That's all right.
yeah.
All right. I had a conversation with a guy once. He said, I get involved in these relationships with these actresses, and it's great, but they're always over after 6 weeks. And I thought about it. I said,
Longfeld.
6 weeks, the length of rehearsal for a
Right,
play,
right.
or the length of a shoot.
Right.
It's like it's a conquest, and then you move on.
Yeah.
But that's very
But
guy-y.
at the end of this
That's not-
movie, she turns around and runs through the mud to get to him, and I think that's what they're
That's
saying.
what
is
I
that
couldn't
Yes.
stand.
It got,
Why?
It got through because he got through to her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'cause
but
he-
why?
Well, because she found out his real story, that it was all about the ice cream and stuff. That he wasn't like this psycho killer.
He was totally violent when he
Yes.
told her the ice cream story. He was.
She fell
He,
in love
he
with
went
Rambo.
violent because he was
Exactly.
trying to like what had
Yes,
happened. But-
exactly.
PTSD.
and wait, she's had an affair with Eli, so I mean, she's drawn to it.
Exactly.
Right.
She
I'm
was
not
all
saying
about
she's
it.
a
I think
saint.
you're
She's
giving
not
her
just
way
saying.
more depth.
She's drawn to the
Yeah.
character.
No, I don't
Okay,
think I
okay,
am. I
okay.
think
Hold on.
That's the point.
Patty has to go, so
Yeah,
we have
we
to make a
score
Yeah.
Yeah, so I give this movie a 7.
3.
I give it a 6.
I'll give an 8.
You keep mine 5.
Okay. So thank you. That ends episode 72.
part 5.
0.5.
Yeah, 0.5.
And see you next time.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Don't forget,
Okay,
thumbs
are-
up, please.